Nobody retires The Undertaker. Not age. Not injuries. Not the passage of time. Not even the carefully orchestrated farewell that the entire wrestling world watched and accepted as the final chapter of the most legendary career this industry has ever witnessed. Nobody, and I mean absolutely nobody, retires The Undertaker except The Undertaker himself. And right now, The Undertaker has unretired himself. Not for a comeback tour. Not for a nostalgia pop. Not for one last WrestleMania moment designed to give the fans a warm send-off and a highlight reel memory to carry for the rest of their lives. The Deadman has come back from retirement for one reason and one reason only: to find Brock Lesnar, to get him inside a ring, and to demolish him in a way that makes every single thing that has ever happened between these two men feel like a prelude to the most violent final chapter in WWE history. Backstage on Raw, The Undertaker made his intentions known. Personally. Directly. Without the cameras, without the microphone, without the theatrical presentation that professional wrestling typically wraps around its biggest moments. Just the Phenom, his rage, and a message delivered to Brock Lesnar face to face that has shaken this entire industry to its absolute foundation. He said one more match. He said it with the kind of quiet, controlled, bone-chilling certainty that only a man who has already decided the outcome in his own mind can project. And the word he used to describe what he intends to do to the beast incarnate inside that ring was not beat, was not defeat, was not overcome or conquer or prove a point. He said demolish. I need every single one of you to drop a comment right now. Just tell me, is Brock Lesnar actually ready for a version of The Undertaker that is not performing, not playing a character, not working a storyline, but genuinely and personally furious? Share this video immediately because the wrestling world needs to be talking about this, and Ring Rumble 1 is giving you the full story. Do not go anywhere until the very end, because what drove The Undertaker out of retirement and straight to Brock Lesnar's door is the part of this story that will make your blood absolutely boil. Before we go through every single detail of what happened backstage on Raw and why The Undertaker's return carries a weight that is unlike anything this industry has seen in years, if you are new to Ring Rumble 1, you just found the channel that covers WWE the way this business actually deserves to be covered. We do not do surface level here. We do not give you 30 seconds of content dressed up in 10 minutes of filler. Every video on this channel is built for wrestling fans who want the real story, the real context, and the real analysis behind the moments that matter most. Subscribe right now. Hit that notification bell and turn on all notifications, because what is developing between The Undertaker and Brock Lesnar is about to become the single most talked about story in professional wrestling, and Ring Rumble 1 will be the channel covering every development, every update, and every explosive twist from beginning to end. Subscribe. Bell on. Let's get into it. To truly feel the seismic weight of what The Undertaker just did backstage on Raw, to understand why his declaration has sent shockwaves through every level of WWE from the locker room to the executive offices, you have to start with what his retirement actually meant. The Undertaker's farewell was not a rushed, poorly handled exit. It was not the kind of retirement that gets quietly walked back 6 months later because business demanded it or because the performer missed the spotlight. His send-off was one of the most celebrated, most emotional, most genuinely respected retirements in the history of professional wrestling. The documentary, the tributes, and truly significant, has disturbed the foundation that peace was built on. Brock Lesnar disturbed it, and now The Undertaker is back. Not with peace, with purpose. Here is the part of the story that the mainstream wrestling media is not giving enough attention. Here is the specific, infuriating, completely avoidable sequence of events that Brock Lesnar set in motion through a combination of arrogance, disrespect, and the particular brand of contemptuous dismissiveness that the Beast has been operating with lately. In recent weeks, Brock Lesnar has been in a mode that can only be described as untouchable energy. Riding the wave of his current dominant positioning in WWE, emboldened by the fear his name generates in the current locker room, Lesnar has been conducting himself with the swagger of a man who genuinely believes there is nobody left in this company, active, retired, or otherwise, who represents a legitimate threat to him. And in that mindset, Lesnar made a very deliberate and very dangerous choice to bring The Undertaker's name into his orbit. Not respectfully. Not as the acknowledgement that a man of The Undertaker's legacy deserves from someone who has shared the ring with him and understands firsthand what he is capable of. Brock Lesnar referenced The Undertaker's retirement in the most dismissive, most contemptuous, most deliberately provocative way possible. He brought up WrestleMania XXX. He brought up the streak. He reminded everyone that he is the man who did what 20 other men could not do, the man who broke the most sacred undefeated record in sports entertainment history. And then he used The Undertaker's retirement as evidence of his own greatness. He suggested that the Deadman had the good sense to recognize when he was finished and to remove himself from a landscape that Brock Lesnar now owns completely. He painted The Undertaker's farewell not as the dignified, celebrated conclusion of a legendary career, but as a retreat. As an old legend wisely stepping aside before the beast had to step on him. Those words spread through the WWE locker room the way all significant words do in that environment, fast, intact, and with every ounce of the original energy preserved. And when they reached The Undertaker, something happened that the people who have known Mark Calaway for decades described as rare and genuinely alarming. The Phenom did not respond with words. He did not call a meeting. He did not reach out through intermediaries or issue a statement through proper channels. He came to Raw. The accounts from people who were present backstage on Raw when The Undertaker arrived are remarkably consistent in one specific detail: the moment he walked through that door, the atmosphere changed. Not because of who he was in terms of celebrity or legend status, but because of what he was projecting. The energy that people described was not the ceremonial gravity of a returning icon. It was something rawer than that. Something more immediate and more dangerous. The Undertaker moved through the backstage area with singular focus. People stepped aside without being asked. Conversations stopped, out of retirement for one more match. He told him that the retirement, the peace, the distance he had placed between himself and this industry, all of it was being set aside because Lesnar had made it impossible to maintain. He told the beast that there was a debt between them that had never been properly settled and that he intended to settle it in the most complete and most final way possible. He used the word demolish. He was specific about it. He did not say he wanted to beat Lesnar or defeat him or reclaim something that was taken. He said he was going to demolish him. And in the mouth of a man who has spent 30 years choosing his words with the precision of someone who understands that words in this industry carry real weight, that specific choice matters enormously. Brock Lesnar's response, according to those present, was notably restrained. And that restraint, from a man whose default setting in any confrontation is explosive physical aggression, speaks to the specific and unique effect that The Undertaker has always had on even the most fearless competitors in WWE history. The Deadman turned and walked away. Lesnar watched him go. Following the backstage confrontation, The Undertaker's message to WWE management has been direct and completely non-negotiable. He wants the match made. He is not interested in a lengthy creative process. He is not interested in a multi-month build involving weekly television segments and carefully constructed narrative arcs. He wants Brock Lesnar across the ring from him, and he wants WWE to make it happen. This puts the company in an extraordinary position. Because on one hand, The Undertaker vs. Brock Lesnar, a match carrying the specific emotional charge that exists between these two men right now, is the kind of event that WWE does not get handed very often. The commercial appeal, the historical significance, the genuine personal heat driving the story from both sides, this is the kind of confluence of factors that makes a match truly special rather than just spectacularly promoted. On the other hand, The Undertaker's physical condition and the terms under which he is willing to return present real logistical and creative challenges that WWE cannot simply wave away. This is not a man who has been maintaining an active in-ring schedule. This is a retired legend whose body carries 30 years of accumulated punishment from one of the most physically demanding careers in the history of this business. But here is what every single person inside WWE understands about this situation. When The Undertaker says something is happening, it happens. That has been the consistent truth of his entire career. The Phenom does not make empty declarations. He does not issue threats that evaporate under the pressure of practical obstacles. When Mark Calaway commits to something, the universe tends to rearrange itself accordingly. If this match happens, and every indication from within WWE suggests it will, the stakes extend far beyond the standard framework of wins and losses and championship implications. For The Undertaker, this is about legacy protection in its most primal form. Brock Lesnar took the streak, for perhaps the first time in years, should genuinely be concerned about what is coming for him. Comment right now, does The Undertaker demolish the Beast when this match finally happens? And is this the chapter that finally, permanently settles the debt between these two men? Share this video with every wrestling fan you know. This is the story that defines WWE right now. Ring Rumble 1. Subscribe. Stay locked in. We will see you in the next one.